All right, thanks, Malika. Well, Saturday was special election primary day for Kauai's next prosecuting attorney, and acting Kauai Prosecutor Becky Like won the primary with 69% of the total vote. Now, again, there is a general election in February, but Becky Like joining us live over Zoom this morning. Congratulations on the win last night.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on this morning.
Absolutely, and I know. Well, you were put in this position now, appointed to that role. Now it's your first TV interview, so first time for everything, and now you're having to run for election on your own. First, can we just got to kind of clarify too? Kauai County has kind of a unique system. Even though there were only two of you running, there is still that election in February. First of all, I mean, it was a landslide for you in this first round. Is that a good sign, obviously, heading forward? And also, how are you going to get your supporters out again in February?
Absolutely. I'm feeling excited this morning as I do take one step closer to being Kauai's next elected prosecuting attorney. But as you mentioned, we still have the general election coming up in February. So folks still need to turn out and vote again in February for the general election, regardless of the outcome in yesterday's primary.
And so what are some of the biggest issues that you've been seeing since you have taken office? Obviously, we interviewed your predecessor, Justin Kohler, multiple times on our show. He really tried to focus on criminal justice reform. That's kind of what his new job entails. Obviously, fentanyl, also a big issue right now. Kind of what have you been focusing on since you've taken on that role?
Well, since taking over on October 1st as acting prosecutor, we've been focusing a lot on, as you mentioned, drug dealing offenses, and fentanyl has had a huge impact on Kauai in the last few months, where we've dealt with a number of deaths from fentanyl overdoses. In addition to those, we're dealing with, making sure that our community is safe by keeping locked up repeat offenders and focusing our resources on making sure that the truly violent and dangerous, stay behind bars.
And, obviously, Justin was in office for a while. You took over after him. What are some of the things that you think have worked well on Kauai, and what are some new ideas that maybe you want to see implemented now that you're in office?
Well, I'm very grateful for the team that Justin helped build over the time that he was in charge. And, I'm grateful to be leading such a wonderful and amazing team of deputies who have such varied experience and commitment to public service. So I'm grateful to have them to continue to lead, and that sets me on the right path, I believe, to leading our county in public safety. There's a couple things that I want to focus on. More community involvement, more transparency in our office, more of an open door policy. And between now and the general, I encourage folks to reach out if they have questions or concerns, regarding our office priorities. I want to be as available as possible, accessible to the public.
And so now, you're moving forward to the general election for this special election in February. Obviously, the numbers went really well for you last night. How are you kind of drawing a contrast between you and your opponent? Obviously, Shea Asari previously held that office as well, so you're both familiar to the community. Kind of, how are you moving ahead with that campaign?
I think that it's best for Kauai voters to just focus on moving forward instead of backward. We're on, a great track, and I want to continue on that track, and the continuity that Justin built in the office, I want to continue that path forward instead of moving backward, to the bad old days of Ms. Asari's, rule of the office.
Mm-hmm. And so, I guess, lastly, what as you're out campaigning, what are the most important things that you hear from people in Kauai that they want to see done in office?
It would be wonderful if we could get a treatment center on Kauai, and I think that's one of the number one concerns of folks when I talk to them, when I go door to door, is when are we going to get a treatment center, for Kauai residents? And I share that concern, and it's a high priority for me and my team as well.
And so February, obviously the next election, do you feel the mail-in system has made it easy to kind of get the same voters out again?
Absolutely. It couldn't be much easier than just having to drop your ballot off in the mail, and, expect them about 4 weeks prior to the February 26th date. And yeah, I think that it definitely increases voter turnout.
All right, Becky Like, we appreciate it. Congratulations again on the win, and again, the general election there on Kauai for a prosecutor scheduled for February 28th. All right, thanks so much for being here, Becky. Appreciate it.
Thank you.